That is Fran and Happy. Paddy Breakfast here. Good morning. This is the coast. Well, it's a fun morning this morning because it's the Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover. And if you really want to liven things up, you just get the cast of a panto to join you on the show. And this is Cinderella at Scarborough Spa from Tony Piers Limited. Stars Ann Hegerty from ITV's The Chase, the governess, of course. And it gets underway tomorrow, the 7th of December, through to the 1st of January at Scarborough Spa in the lovely theatre there. And you can get your tickets at scarboroughspa.co.uk. You can turn up to the box office as well. Throughout the show this morning, we're going to be hearing from the cast, including Ann Hegerty, just after 8. But right now, we meet the two who are playing the Ugly Sisters. You shall go to the ball.
Hello, I'm Philip Meeks, and I'm Colleen Hardup.
And I'm Matt McInnes, and I play Rebecca Hardup.
Okay,
yeah,
so
Colleen and Rebecca.
I do, yes, I do get that. Yeah, very topical, very topical.
I didn't get it, so I had to be told.
Really, yeah.
It works.
Yeah. So, very topical at the moment. Of course, Colleen is in the jungle at the minute, spinning the beans on all that sort of stuff, so the Wagatha thing continues. Tell us about this panto for those that don't know about it.
Well, I think people say Cinderella is the most magical panto of all, but I've never been in it because I've never played an ugly sister before. I've played a dame for a lot of years, but I remember one year being confused and coming on and saying, "Don't worry, Cinderella," to Snow White. And I said, well, I'd never even been in Cinderella, but I've always wanted to be. And it's quite funny that I started as Cinderella. I started doing Cinderella and they changed the title, so I became the dame. So, it's nice that, 18 years later, I'm finally playing an ugly sister. So that was more about me than the panto was.
Yeah. So I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back. So the story of Cinderella, yes, as Phil said, it's the most magical. But not only that, let's get into the nitty-gritty of this. It's the most magical cast as well. We've got absolutely wonderful professionals here, and it's a treat for anybody to come and see.
Sorry, professionals. Are you getting paid?
Ooh, controversy. All right.
We are only a few days into rehearsal and we can already see the magic happening.
Yeah.
Like Phil, this is my first time as an ugly sister. I've always been the prince. But I'm now of an age where perhaps I can't get those roles.
He was last prince in 1840.
Yeah. Oh, look, they're all laughing at that over there as well. Very good. Perfect timing, eh? Perfect panto timing. So, obviously, you've done all sorts of other stuff as well. What is it about panto that is so magical? I always imagine that it's the fact that, if things go wrong, that can be part of the show. It's such a laugh. It's so engaging with the audience. I mean, what is it about panto?
Well, the thing about Cinderella is playing an ugly sister. The greatest thing is you get to ruin everybody's Christmas. So that's why I like it. I mean, those children who are coming to see the show, they're not going to like it when we're on stage. I can tell you that now. We're horrible. But then so are the children. You have to fight fire with fire. No, I think the great thing about pantomime is it is such a... I have to say, I can't stand it when people say, it's the first introduction to the theatre for children. I just think, that's the most obvious thing to say, and maybe it shouldn't be. What I love about it is it's a family, it's a unit, and it's not just great for conventional families. It is inclusive of found families and LGBT families and, people who just live together in an old folks home. It's something that brings everybody together. And that's because we're very lucky in Britain. We're the only country who could ever sit in a room and know that if somebody says, "Oh, yes, I am," we've got to shout back, oh, instinctively. It's in our genes.
For me, there are certain stages to the build-up of Christmas. You put your tree up on the 1st of December, they flick on the lights in the town and you start getting those butterflies in your tummy, and then you go to the theatre and the real magic begins. So to me, it's as a youngster going to the pantomimes, it really consolidated. It was Christmas was all about those little stepping stones towards Christmas Day, potentially peaking at our show. Sorry, children, you might get let down on Christmas Day because this show is that good.
Yes, don't come on Christmas Eve because Christmas Day will be a terrible anticlimax.
And what's great as well is you see the connection between everyone on the stage at Panto, and everyone seems like they're having the time of their life. But actually, here in rehearsals, you can feel that connection, that bond as well. You're all having a laugh. I mean, some of the jokes I've heard before we've recorded are very similar to what you might get on stage.
Do you know, that is a real... I look forward to getting here in the morning, and yesterday I thought, do you know, I left and my face was hurting. There were just moments in rehearsal, and quite often Phil, being a comedy genius, he's in the centre of them. Just something happened in the middle of a script, and he jumped a couple of lines ahead in the script, and it just landed perfectly. Like, it shouldn't have worked, but it was hilarious, and everybody was creased up, and that happens every few minutes. It's
funny Matt should say his face is hurting him, because it's hurting me.
Here, you're the most ugly. What are you saying? Don't say that about me, sis.
Yes, it is great. It is a great... Well, what's great about it is this is a very special pantomime you have in Scarborough, because it's a small group of people who are doing it mostly because they want to do it. We're not talking about the vast bucks you might get at the Palladium. We're not talking about the huge special effects you might get with Crossroads. We're talking about what I call a proper panto. And I am thrilled with the script, and anybody who knows me would probably fall down if they heard me say that, because I always moan about the script. It's got brevity. It's written by our director, Phil. It's written with real skill and panache, and... It's that to me is so important, and most people say, "Oh, I've written a panto," and it's like 8 hours long, and it's got every gag you can imagine in it. This has got it's tight, it's got brevity, and it's story driven, which is fabulous.
So we'll hear more from the Ugly Sisters shortly. By the way, did these interviews in the Regency Room at Scarborough Spa while the cast were putting the finishing touches to the panto, so you'll hear lots of noise and atmosphere in the background. Got me the opportunity to actually see up close the final rehearsals, and my word, it looks so good, so slick, so entertaining, so much fun. It's the Panto Takeover with the cast of Cinderella at Scarborough Spa on Paddy Breakfast all throughout this morning. You can get your tickets for the show at scarboroughspa.co.uk. Lisa Stansfield Change. We'll hear from the children of my old primary school, St. Peter's, very shortly, singing 19 Sleep Still Santas here as our official Christmas countdown continues. Sleep Still Santa, and the video going on the This Is the Coast Facebook page as well around now too. First though, it's the Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover this morning. We're hearing from the cast of Cinderella. More now from the two that are playing the Ugly Sisters, Philip Meeks and Matt McInnes. I asked them about how great it must be to work in a theatre as lovely as Scarborough Spa Theatre.
Well, this is my first time here. Not only the theatre itself, but arriving here. It's just the most beautiful scenery, arriving at this beautiful Victorian theatre, which has kept most of its splendour, and walking in and just feeling that sense of history. I don't know exactly, but I think it's over 100 years old, and you can feel it. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was the largest entertainment venue outside London for a good time. Got burned down a couple of times, but they rebuilt it very quickly because... it was so important, basically, and it remains important. It's also where my dad met my mum as well. He was a concert pianist here. Max Jaffa brought him here in the 70s to do the summer seasons with the orchestra. But she always jokes that it was a sea fret. It was really foggy, so when she met him, she couldn't properly see him. But yeah, so, no, a place that's special to me as well. And a lot of people as well. It's a great building. So... It's also a very busy schedule for you, isn't it, as well? I mean, you look like you're having a great time, but it's so many hours, isn't it? I mean, it's not just the performances, it's all the rehearsals. It takes over your life, doesn't it, for a few months, I guess?
Well, you've got to really sort of like train your brain, really. And a lot of it, you bring sets of skills, from the last shows, because you can't pick everything up where you left it. So it is. I think you're putting on a full musical in a few days. And usually I think the second week of the run or the last week of the run, I go, oh, that's what that line meant. We do have to bring our muscle memories to the forum. It's like your heritage, your panto heritage goes towards getting it on stage, I think.
When people see all the different jigsaw pieces of a panto come together, they only see this spectacle that's created over 2 hours of a night, but everything from front of house and production, tech, lighting design, sound, costume, it all comes together to create this 2 hour experience. And yeah, you'd imagine that would take months and months and months to put together. Like Rachel and Tony and their team have been working on all that behind the scenes. We've got a mere 9 days, and when you tell everybody that's how long they're quite shocked. Really, that's all you've got? Yeah. And not only have we only got 9 days, but a lot of that is taken up by a lot of choreography. As we can see, we've got the youngsters all limbering up and warming up to do their choreography with the lead cast. So a lot of that time's taken. So we're not fully working on our sections all of the time. But it will be brilliant. Because we're professionals, Paddy.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, actors are just warm props, really, aren't they?
Yes. I guess so, yeah.
Some of them are warm.
Well, thanks for your time. And, hope it all goes fantastically well. And it's that thing, isn't it, where I suppose every performance does feel a little different depending on the audience, the crowd. Some people laugh at certain things more than others.
Yes, it is a very, very... you've got to have a panto discipline, because otherwise, we've all worked with really self-indulgent people, and if anything gets added, you've got to do it at lightning speed and make sure that you get everybody back on track again. There is nothing worse than self-indulgence in panto. And ours is more structured because the two of us, our entrance is more structured. But when you come on and do your dame's opening spot, I've got a little clock in my head going tick, 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 tick. And I ask the DSM, and I usually get within 2 minutes without a second. It's got to look like it is actually the definition of organised chaos.
Yeah, it is chaos. And that's the key thing about when he talks about discipline, Phil. That one of the disciplines is the unknown. It's being as an actor being able to handle that unknown, and that's the beauty for us as well. That's what I long for. I look for. I mean, I don't want Phil to make huge mistakes, but I look for being able to get out of that or work with that, because it's the only discipline where you can share that with the audience, and they're the bits you remember. Every pantomime I remember are the ones where something has gone wrong, and the audience are laughing with you, and they're waiting for that. They've seen this story 20 times since they were babies, so they want to see something different, and it is all those set pieces and those little magical, comedy pieces that are made up on the spot or getting out of these halls. That's what I love about it, and the audience has come back year on year for that, I believe.
Thanks for your time. Good luck with the run.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you. That is Matt McInnes and also Philip Meeks playing the Ugly Sisters in Scarborough Spa's Panto Cinderella, which starts this weekend from tomorrow until the 1st of January, starring Ann Hegerty from The Chase. We'll hear from her very shortly. We're hearing from the cast throughout the show on this Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover.
This is The Coast.
So Cinderella gets underway at Scarborough Spa, and wow, it looks amazing. We posted some pictures last night of the cast in full costume on stage. Looks unbelievable, and stars Ann Hegerty from The Chase, and I guess it's run underway tomorrow until the 1st of January. We heard earlier from the Ugly Sisters. Here's two more key characters in Cinderella.
I'm Chris, and I'm playing Prince Charming.
And I'm Katie, and I'm playing Dandini.
Tell us about the show from your point of view. How excited are you?
Yeah, so excited. It's so lovely to be here in Scarborough. I've been here a couple of times, but it's so nice to be here for the whole Christmas period. And at the Spa Theatre, being right on the sea is incredible. It's so weird. I've never lived by the sea, and so to look out the window here at the theatre and just be right there, it's brilliant. It's really nice change.
It's a special place, special building, of course. And just tell us about your involvement in the Panto. How excited are you about your role?
I'm so excited. This is my first panto, right. And obviously working with Tony, it's been lovely as well. So I'm just really excited to be with everybody, and everybody's so lovely as well. It's been such an easy rehearsal process so far. But hopefully nothing will go wrong, and we'll all be fine. But yeah, it's so excited.
So when you say first panto, then has there been a lot of people with all these decades of experience in panto just kind of putting that arm around you and easing you into it?
Yeah, I have actually, especially when I told them, this is my first panto, and they were really, really helpful and welcoming, and especially Dan was giving me loads of tips and tricks and things like that, which has been so nice.
Yeah, but I suppose a lot of it will be the experience that you're getting on the stage doing it, where so many things will just... I suppose it will happen that you're maybe not expecting.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know obviously things go wrong in panto, and obviously there's all the improv that happens, so that's going to be really interesting.
That's the fun bit, or the improv. When something goes wrong, that's the best bit.
Yeah.
And it's a great story, isn't it? It's kind of the holy grail in many ways, isn't it, of Panto, this one?
Yeah, it's my absolute favourite Panto to do, Cinderella. It's so magical, and no spoilers, but like the end of Act 1 is so beautiful, such a special moment.
Yeah, and how's it been doing the rehearsals? Like we can hear in the background, we've got the young dancers, the local dancers who are involved. How's that been?
Oh, it's been lovely. They're just a lovely bunch of kids, and they work really hard, so it's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, and I've sort of felt the great camaraderie and atmosphere between all of the cast here. You see it on stage, obviously, but actually it's a bit like that off stage, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're thrown together with these people and you're spending, 7-8 weeks together, and you're a little family in a little bubble, and forced to get on with each other, I suppose.
No choice.
And, how much fun is it playing your roles? Because you've got such great roles. Everyone is automatically going to love you, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a brilliant role. Being a panto boy is actually one of my bucket list things to do as well. So it's just fun. It's just really fun.
And, you can't complain at playing the Prince, can you? It's when you stop getting asked to play the Prince, that's when you need to worry.
What age do I get to when I get stopped to play the Prince? No, it's great. And lots of singing, lots of dancing. We love it. Panto's just got a great time.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the singing, actually, because that's a big part of it, isn't it? It's not just them one-liners and all that. It's belting out a hit, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm singing quite a bit in this show, too. Hopefully you like it.
But that's when the panto takes on a different sort of feel, doesn't it? You're doing a solo performance and all that, and that's when the hairs on the back of the neck in the audience go up and all that. So do you feel the pressure at those moments, or is it just...
Not personally for me. I really enjoy those moments. If anything, they're the bits that I look forward to the most, and I just think it would be really fun. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I love Panto so much, because one minute you're getting custard pies thrown in your face and squirted with water, and then the next minute you've got some beautiful song with, like you say, with the hairs on your back of your neck standing up, and I love those bits. I agree with Katie.
Without giving away too many spoilers, have you got a favourite bit of this Panto? I mean, you mentioned the solo singing there, but do you, the bit that maybe the audience are going to really love, without giving away too many spoilers, but yeah, what's your personal favourite?
So one of the favourite, and I think in Cinderella one of the magical bits, is the ball, and when Cinderella comes down the stairs and meets the prince at the bottom of the stairs. I think it's so magical. She's in the incredible dress, and we've got a really beautiful song as well to sing at that bit, and that's the bit I'm looking forward to at the moment.
Great.
Yeah, I think obviously the transformation scene is epic. It is what the kids come to see, realistically, and it's just stunning. But then the Ugly Sisters have some absolute belters of lines, and honestly, we've been sitting here just laughing our bottoms off. I had to think about what I could say then.
Yeah. It's recorded. We could have put a beep in. It's fine. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds fantastic. And of course, you'll get a lot of the schools coming in as well, which it's a different audience, isn't it, to the families during the holidays.
The schools are the loudest. Right, yeah. So we're doing like a 10 o'clock show on a Tuesday morning, and the kids screaming at you. It's brilliant.
That must be very special, actually. When they're all coming in, that'll be fantastic, won't it?
I do really enjoy, especially if we've got any of the special needs schools coming in, that it's just a different energy, and it is just one of the most special performances you can do. But yeah, anytime you've got kids in, it's just an absolute hoot.
All dressed up in their Cinderella dresses, and so it's really nice.
And finally, outside of Panto, what's next?
God, I'm just thinking about tomorrow.
Sorry about that. Yeah, don't want to give you a headache or anything.
Tax returns next.
Yeah, of course, that time of year, isn't it? Well, look, good luck with it all. It sounds fantastic, and thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having us.
We'll hear from Ann Hegerty from Cinderella, from The Chase, more famously, but she's playing the fairy godmother in Cinderella at Scarborough Spa. Just after 8 this morning as the Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover continues. Bruno Mars, Marry You, Paddy Breakfast, this is The Coast. Well, you shall go to the ball. Cinderella is the Panto at Scarborough Spa this year from Tony Pearce Productions. Gets underway tomorrow, the 7th of December, until the 1st of January. Lots of opportunities to see an amazing cast. Some very familiar faces who've been there for a number of years, and some new faces too, including from The Chase, the governess herself, Ann Hegerty. Let's go back to the Regency Room at Scarborough Spa, where I caught up with the cast in rehearsals and had a chat with Anne. So our Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover continues. Ann Hegerty here. How are you, Anne?
I'm absolutely fine. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. How did were you at the St Catherine's Christmas light switch on?
I was indeed, and everybody particularly liked the dress. We have this fantastic wardrobe lady called Janet, and everybody thinks she makes marvellous dresses.
Yeah, there was some talk. Were you going to be dressed up? Were you not going to be dressed up?
Oh, yeah, I was always going to be dressed up.
Great. So it's great that you've been out and about in the area. So at the moment, it's all hands on deck, isn't it, to get ready for this panto?
It is. I mean, we've only got a week to rehearse, but, we've obviously got some amazing dancers who have been practising for weeks and they know exactly what they're doing.
And I've just interrupted you. You're deep in your scripts, and how's that going?
I'm getting the hang of it. I sort of always feel I should be more across it by this time than I am, but, I think I sort of roughly know what I'm doing. I've asked not to be put in any of the dances, so, because I can't dance, so I'm just going to sit there watching the dancers and thinking, I'm so glad it's not me, and get on with learning a script. It's a fantastic cast. I mean, they're all just so good at what they do.
Speaking to Dandini, first panto, but obviously you have actually done this before, haven't you?
I have. I've been counting. I think this may be something like my 12th panto. It's the first time I've done Cinderella. Wait a minute. I did Cinderella in 2014, my very first panto, and I was rubbish because I didn't know what I was doing. And then in 2020, when all the pantos were cancelled, a friend of mine rented the Real Pavilion for 2 days, and we all went up there and we did an online panto called Once Upon a Panto. And my bit, again, was Cinderella, and I was an ugly sister. And the other ugly sister was Bobby Crush, and I wore his dresses. And this is the first time I've been the fairy godmother.
Yeah. And obviously a complete difference to, what a lot of people know you for, being a chaser and the chase on the telly and all that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a reason that I like to do it. It's a chance to act and sing and be funny and do stuff that's not to do with the chase. And I've had opportunities from panto that I wouldn't have had from the chase. Like, I was involved in a little comedy film, which I made earlier this year. It's only about 20 minutes, but, it's going out to film festivals and so on. And that came about through panto.
Came about through pantos? All right, okay.
Absolutely came about through panto. I went to the Royal Variety performance the other week, and that was as a guest of the guy that's playing Buttons, who is on the Royal Variety Club committee, and he invited me along to be a +1, so that's brilliant. There's a possibility I might be going to be a Lady Rattling next year, which is the female equivalent of the Water Rats. That came about via panto. So, panto, a lot of stuff happens through panto.
Yeah. You could have forgot all about the chase, really, couldn't you? Just stuck to panto.
I get panto via the chase.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who I am because they've all seen the chase. And the chase is still my favourite job.
Yeah. And I suppose there'll be references to that, will there, in the panto?
They're not allowed to call me the governess because that is owned by ITV, but they can call me Frosty Knickers because I've trademarked that name myself. It's actually the name of my service company. They will be paying my fees to Frosty Knickers.
That's amazing. Well, I will make sure I never say Frosty Knickers then.
No, you can say Frosty. Well, you can. You probably. I'll give you permission to say Frosty.
Thank you. And this is recorded, so if I ever get a bill in the post.
Yes, absolutely.
That's brilliant. That's amazing. Just tell us about this cast here, Scarborough Spa Theatre, the venue. How are you finding it? You've got a lot of experience in panto. How is this for you?
It's a lovely venue. Everybody here is so nice. Everybody in Scarborough is so nice. I keep being stopped and asked for selfies, which is really very nice. We've got a cracking cast. Cinderella's a slightly curious panto because the dames are actually the bad guys, which is unusual. The comic Buttons has actually got quite a serious story arc because he's in love with Cinderella and it's not working the other way around. So that's sort of quite tear-jerking. It's unusual in those respects. We have fantastic ugly sisters. We've got Buttons, Daniel Dean, who's just so good. We've got our Cinderella, Charlotte, who is over there doing her dancing.
Yeah. And these young dancers as well, local dancers, it's great experience for them.
I always say that the one thing you never need to worry about in panto is the dancers, because they always know what they're doing. You know, they've been practicing it for much longer than we have. So
you touched on Scarborough, being asked for selfies and all that. Have you had much experience coming to Scarborough before, or is this sort of more or less one of your first times?
I came here for the photo shoot. I came here years ago for a weekend away with what's called the Mastermind Club. When you've been on Mastermind, you get to join a social club called the Mastermind Club. And I think probably I might have come here maybe once or twice when I was a child and used to have holidays in Teesside. But I'm not at all familiar with the place. But it is rather lovely. The walk in along the Spa Bridge in the morning is really nice.
It is, isn't it? It is. And what is that one question you get asked more than any other when you stop by people?
It's either, how did you get the job on the Chase? Or it's, how many shows do you do a day? Or it's, what's Bradley really like?
Yeah.
Or sometimes it's, what was the jungle really like? Yeah. And I'm like, these are all questions I've answered over and over again.
Yeah. You've got that stock answer ready to go, haven't you? Yeah. Well, can't wait for it, the Panto. Obviously, there'll be a mixture of audiences, won't there? There'll be a lot of schools coming in for the first week or two, which will be different to the families over the Christmas holidays.
Yes, we've got schools audiences. I know some Panto performers who dread the schools performances because they're sort of really quite loud and shrieky, and it's a bit awkward trying to flirt with the grown-ups because they're all teachers. I love it. I love, whoever the audience is brilliant. And we have to be kind of very much on it time-wise with the schools shows because, the coaches are going to leave when they leave, and if you're not careful, the entire school just gets up and disappears because they've got to get on the coach. So we can't overrun.
Oh, yes. The staff with the high-vis jackets won't allow them to miss the bus, Well, great. Thanks so much for your time. Can't wait to see the show. Can't wait to see it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Ann Hegerty from The Chase. So she's the governess, of course, on The Chase. I love the fact that she has literally trademarked Frosty Knickers. That is fantastic. Right. The Mystery Sound is next. More from the cast of Scarborough Spa throughout the show this morning on our takeover. We're having fun today. It's the Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover with the cast of Cinderella, including Ann Hegerty. Let's meet another couple now who are involved in the show, including one very familiar person.
I'm Nick Fawcett and I'm playing Baron Hardup.
And I'm Daniel Dean and I'm playing Buttons.
And you're just saying that Dandini, a bit confusing for everyone.
Dandini, yeah. I once did a panto a long time ago and I played Dandini, just so they could put that on the poster. So it was Daniel Dean playing Dandini.
Brilliant. Fantastic. So tell us about your role and what we can look forward to.
Well, I'm playing the Baron, which is actually, I don't have any songs and I don't have any dance route apart from the very final one. So I'm a bit kind of in awe of everybody else, and I feel a bit guilty because everyone's working so hard and I sort of wander on and do a bit and then wander off and they do a big number. But I enjoy it. It's lovely.
Yeah. And your role?
My role is Buttons. I'm just the daft character, I think, throughout the show, which I absolutely love playing. And Baron, you're putting yourself down there a little bit. Your part is vital in the show.
It's vital, but you poor boy here. He works really hard, whereas I feel I'm not quite pulling as much weight as everybody else.
A wonderful character actor, though. But it is true with me. I was looking through the script, and it says, buttons on and buttons off, and I turn the page, and it's buttons back on, buttons off to another page, and it's the same all the way through, it seems. So, this week at rehearsals is certainly a fun week.
Yeah, I suppose you never not in here then, I guess, yeah?
There's a lot to learn, and now we've got the dancers in the room at the moment as well, and everything's starting to come together. It's going to be a phenomenal show, I think.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think this is my fourth. I was trying to remember, is it my fourth or my fifth panto here? But it's always great fun. In fact, although I'm actually a local boy, but I moved away, many years ago, and I've now moved back to Scarborough, because I love it so much. So
fantastic, and it's a great theatre, isn't it? It's quite an intimate theatre, isn't it? The Spa Theatre.
I love an intimate theatre. Yeah, and this is a beautiful theatre to play. This is my third year back playing this theatre, and I just couldn't wait. When they said, want to go back again for a third year, couldn't believe my luck, because it really is a beautiful theatre to play, a great place to be. The audiences are fantastic, and the last 2 years we've had a ball. We really really have, and we truly are having a ball this year in Cinderella, literally.
Yes, but no, I mean, just coming here, because the setting of the actual spa complex, you know, it's a lovely building, and you look out over the bay and stuff, and just arriving at work or just arriving at rehearsal, it's just lovely, because it's a lovely place.
And when you come to Panto, you know, part of the fun is sometimes it feels like things go wrong or things are just thrown together, but as I'm witnessing here, there's a heck of a lot of very hard work that goes into perfecting things.
There certainly is, and, you know, in relative terms, when you think about all the work that goes in, there's not an awful lot of time to bring it all together. It really is hard work, and things do go wrong in Panto, and it's, you know, it is fun. It adds to the laughter, to the joy for everybody when things go wrong, as long as you can get out of them.
Yes. Yeah, because I mean, there's so much backstage as well. There's so many costumes, because there's lots of costume changes, and then there's a lot of set changes, and then there's a lot of dancers, and we have to have 2 sets of dancers because of the Juves. They can only do how many shows? They can do 2 or 3 shows, and then they have to be changed, and then they come back later. So this A and B team, and a lot of people in the background doing a lot of hard work.
And Button's such a popular character as well, so it must be a great fun role to play, that.
I love playing sort of the Joker in a panto. Yeah, that character that is a bit daft, and it's great as well, because if I do anything wrong, I can put it down to my character and get away with it. But yeah, it's just a joyous role to play, and it's the role where you have all the most fun with all the boys and girls, and, you know, all the audience, and even backstage and with the crew and the cast and everything else. Once you're in character, I sort of put the costume on, I become Buttons, and I stay Buttons really until I take the costume off, and it really is a great way to spend Christmas.
Great. And a couple of different types of audience as well. The schools, quite different to the families over the Christmas holidays.
Yeah, I'd say it's a very down the middle family, proper old-fashioned panto, so the kids love it, and I know, I mean, the noise level, it's just ridiculous when they go for it. I mean, like, we have, am I giving anything away? Say there's a ghost gag in it, and doing that, the kids just go crazy. But I think there's a few laughs for the mums and dads as well, I think.
Yeah.
There's certainly a good mix of humour, and it's quite interesting. In previous years, when we've done just the school shows, we've got a theatre full of children. You know, there's quite a few of our lines, and it goes straight over the children's head. They don't get it at all. And then all of a sudden, you know, the public shows come in, and the things that were getting huge laughs, you know, still get giggles, and then the things that got nothing, all of a sudden the house comes down, and there's certainly 2 different dynamics with the audiences, but that's all part of the fun of it. It's great fun.
Great. Can't wait to see the show, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Yes, I hope everyone comes along and enjoys it.
Nick Fawcett there and Daniel Dean from the Scarborough Spa Panto cast of Cinderella, which starts its run tomorrow until the 1st of January. scarboroughspa.co.uk to get your tickets. Dua Lipa and Pierre de Mer, and that is These Walls. Paddy at breakfast. This is the Coast. We're having fun this morning. We are doing the Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover with the cast of Cinderella. The Panto starts its run tomorrow, the 7th of December, until the 1st of January. Get your tickets at scarboroughspa.co.uk. Ann Hegerty from The Chase is the fairy godmother. And right now, it's time to meet Cinderella. So the Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover continues, and I'm now with
Charlotte Buxton.
And you play?
I'm playing Cinderella.
That is obviously a dream role.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I can't wait. I'm really excited about it, yeah.
So give us a bit of your history then in Panto and other stuff.
So I've done Panto for Tony Piers for years. I used to actually be one of the dancers when I was little, so I started with him when I was about 9, 10. And then over the years I played the genie before, I played the fairy, I played Maid Marian a few years ago, so yeah. I love Panto.
Yeah, it sounds like it, yeah. And, you know, just watching you there, it's pretty intense, isn't it, the rehearsals?
Yeah, pretty intense. We've got a week's rehearsal. We do get the scripts beforehand, but, yeah, we've got to do everything in a week. So that's the songs, all the gags, putting the songs and the dances together. That's what I've just done now, put the dance to my song for the opening of the show.
Yeah. And so who is choreographing? Is it the director there that's putting all that together? You've got your dance beat. I mean, who's telling you what to do, and how flexible is it? How do things change as you're going along?
Yeah, things can change. We have obviously Phil, the director, and then Tracy is the choreographer. So they sit together and yeah, you kind of want to learn as much as you can, but things can change if
Yeah. But of course, once you start doing the shows, it just becomes second nature, doesn't it?
Definitely, it just becomes second nature. Once you know your lines, once you know your songs, it's just like waking up in the morning and just doing your thing.
And you've got Ann Hegerty, of course, this time as well, who's got years of panto experience. I mean, everyone thinks of her as being on the chase, but actually she's done about 12 or 13 pantos as well. So, great experience in the room and a great cast.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. It's a really good cast this year, and it's so exciting to work with Anne, because you see her on the telly and then you think, oh, that's so exciting, I'm going to be working with her. So yeah, can't wait to do that.
Brilliant. And after panto, what's happening next?
I'm not sure for me at the moment. I've just been doing the cruise ships for a few years, so maybe back on the cruise ships. Who knows? Watch this space.
Watch this space, yeah. And a couple of different audiences. We've been talking about this actually during this. You've got your schools that come in, and then of course it's the families afterwards. So very different audiences.
Yeah, very different. I mean, when all the kids are in for the schools, that's such a good atmosphere, because they're screaming and laughing, and it's so nice to hear all the kids react to what we're doing. Then obviously all the adult jokes go over their heads, but once we've got an adult audience in, that's when you hear different laughters in different places of the show. So it's good to have different audiences, I think.
And of course, Cinderella is sort of the holy grail of panto, isn't it, really? And to play Cinderella, is it one of those sort of dream things for you?
You know what it is, actually. I've always wanted to play Cinderella, and this is my first time playing Cinderella. So, yeah, I'm really excited and really happy that I got the chance to do it.
Brilliant. Well, hope it's a great run, and can't wait to see it. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
After 9, we'll be speaking to the director of Cinderella and reminding you to get your tickets for Scarborough Spa's Panto at scarboroughspa.co.uk. Also the box office as well, and you can give them a ring. On the way. First, let's hear from the director, Phil Beck, from Scarborough Spa's Panto this year, Cinderella, and he told me that he's been working on this project for quite some time.
I absolutely love it. I mean, my process starts sort of middle of the year in June, July, when we start thinking about writing the script. Then we start casting, and obviously this today and yesterday is the culmination of all that work, where everybody comes together and rehearsals can begin, songs are picked, and we get to get going.
Must be a very special feeling seeing it come together, the stuff that's in your head, the stuff that's on a piece of paper in terms of the script, but actually seeing it physically come together. You must get a few of those sort of hairs on neck moments when the magic just kind of happens before you.
Yeah, when you see someone give a really good performance of a particular thing, whether it be a gag, whether it be a song that you've chosen, and you're creating that theatre magic for particularly the kids over Christmas, it is special.
And you've got different levels of experience, haven't you? I mean, a lot of people know Anne from The Chase, might not realise that she's a veteran of Panto as well, 12 or 13, behind her. You've also got people in this Panto it's their first Panto, so you've got to manage that as well, haven't you?
Yeah, like you say, Anne's teaching all of us a thing or two in terms of her experience in Panto, but yeah, what is great is we've got a really good cast that are actually helping each other out and helping those through that have never done it before, and giving them the benefit of their knowledge and their experience as well. So it's always a great first step onto the performance ladder as a pantomime, if you like. So yeah, it's really good to see that varying degree of experience.
And the cast seem very connected as well, some with lots of experience of working in Scarborough, some with less experience of working here as well, but everyone seems to love the atmosphere, the theatre, the town, which must make your job a lot easier as well.
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate. Well, we were working out yesterday that this will be my 13th year here in Scarborough, whether being in it or directing, and Charlotte, who's our Cinderella, actually is doing her 14th year, so it's nice to have some repetition and actually some recognition when you get audiences come back seeing familiar faces. Daniel has been in this show for the last 2 years, who's playing Buttons this year, so a familiar comic as well. But we're very lucky to be playing in a historic venue like this that's got so much steeped in history, and many, many greats have walked the boards here, so to share that is great.
Yeah. And I've been mentioning to everyone, you've got your two different audiences, haven't you? You've got the schools, you've got the families over the holidays, and those shows will feel quite different, won't they?
Yes. Yeah, so I think when you particularly look at the Ugly Sisters, I think they get more, what's the polite way of putting it? They get more freedom of reign, I think, when there's an adult audience, so they can perhaps go a little bit harder in on the guys, perhaps, that they're picking. But yeah, I always say this time of year, it's when the schools come, it's a lot of people, a lot of kids' first experience of pantomime, and it's a huge responsibility, actually, for us to make that a positive one. So yeah, whilst the shows do feel very differently, equally as well received.
Great. Good luck with the run. Hope it's a big success. I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, thank you. Hope you're coming.
Yeah, definitely am. Oh, yes, I am. Thank you very much. Cheers. And that is Phil Beck there, the director of Cinderella at Scarborough Spa. Get your tickets at scarboroughspa.co.uk or pop down to the box office in the South Bay. Big thanks to all the cast and Phil there for giving us the time for the Scarborough Spa Panto Takeover on Paddy Breakfast this morning.